Yes, we have heard about all the chaos and problems and things like this behind the scenes for Captain America 4 for quite some time, including rumors that they basically reshot the entire show or the entire what's it called? The entire movie because it was just that bad. And of course, I'm sure Harrison Ford was really happy to come back to a Marvel set to film this again. I'm sure everybody loved redoing the same things they've already done. Well, apparently, the new and improved Captain America 4 Brave New World doesn't look like it may have improved all that much with the reshoots. Captain America Brave New World reportedly awful after test screening. This rumor comes from Scooper, My Time to Shine, hello, and others as well. Just heard back from like 3 people who went to see Captain America Brave New World test screening, and woof, movie sounds awful. It was also previously reported by World of Real. 2 different cuts of the film test screen last week. The person who attended didn't seem to like the movie all that much. The reactions I've heard have not been kind to this movie, which is being described as inessential and flat. I believe that it would be looked at as inessential because no one really cares about this character anymore in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Not at all. I mean, Captain America basically has been with Chris Evans in the role, who is not a movie star but is phenomenal as Captain America. I mean, he is an amazing Captain America in my opinion, and he has essentially become him along with Iron Man become the face of the MCU. And now, when you're giving us this race swapped Captain America, nobody's buying it. No one cares. This has never ever been what the audience wanted. This was not the natural progression of the character within the universe. This did not feel natural at all. It felt extremely forced when they did that in Endgame. And then, of course, we saw Captain America and his virtue signaling nonsense, or Black Captain America and his virtue signaling nonsense. And yeah, this is DOA. I think this could potentially be it. Because of the name Captain America, I guess it probably could do more than the Marvels, but I feel like this is Marvel's territory is where this movie's heading. You think
that would be scary? Because I imagine with the fact that they essentially did have to reshoot a majority of this movie, a lot of this movie, like there's a chance that the budget for this is just absolutely blown up. Now, I think they filmed this one in Georgia, which means we probably don't get to see those fancy, UK tax results and shit like that we do for a lot of the other movies, because I think it was made in Georgia. But I mean, there's a chance they spent $350 million on something like this. Absolutely. Why not when you look at all the budgets of all of their other movies that they've had, including something like the Marvels?
Yeah. And again, I think it'll probably do more than the Marvels, but it feels like this is definitely that level of excitement, which is not much at all with this movie. It's just no one cares about this character. No one cares about Papa Doc being Captain America. Nobody. If you know the reference, you know the reference. But that's all these years later. That's all I can see him as Papa Doc. Still, I can't. It's like Ross from Friends, dude. David Schwimmer's always gonna be Ross. He's always gonna be Papa Doc. That's all I remember him as. Clarence, and Clarence has has both parents. Is that what he said? I can't remember the lines in it. But what do you think? Do you think this is going to be do you think they're gonna? Is this a box office failure? Almost guaranteed. Maybe not Marvel's level.
I think 100% it's going to be a box office failure. Now, Marvel's numbers, that would be crazy, but I don't really know what to expect at this point. We just had Joker open to less than the Marvels did, right? So, it's very unpredictable. And obviously, it's coming out at some point next year. Maybe, is it May next year that it's actually coming out?
That's actually a good point, because I don't think the fact that Joker 2 had less than the Marvels is insane.
It is, yeah.
So that gives you the idea that this could be that big of a failure. And with all the reshoots, with everything, with the budget going nuclear at this point in time, it's absolutely insane. So I think that this is going to be a huge failure for Marvel. I'm not sure I'm ready to say it's going to be below the Marvels, but I think that it's going to be somewhere within Marvel's territory, because who's excited for this?
Happy Valentine's Day. It's on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Same day as the release of Black Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Jesus.
So, same release date.
God. Yeah, this is
in the middle of Black History Month.
Do you think that they're gonna? Is there any rumors that are gonna throw a Hail Mary and try to get like a cameo from fucking Iron Man or Spider-Man or something like that? That would be a Hail Mary for them attempt.
I don't think so. Now from someone like Bucky, maybe yes. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But in terms of a Tom Holland Spider-Man swinging in there, I don't see that necessarily happening.
Yeah, and this isn't really like as much as like from Marvel's perspective, it's 100% agenda-driven DEI bullshit. But like, hang on. L. Anderson says, Jeremy, sometimes you're really dumb. Like when you say Chris Evans isn't a movie star. Just look up his credits. He's been in at least 40 movies. We're probably more than that. You must be fucking retarded if you don't understand the point I'm trying to make. Just because you're in a fucking movie doesn't make you a movie star. The fuck are you talking about? Being in a movie doesn't make you a movie star. I say Chris Evans is not a movie star because he can't carry a movie on his own name. Tom Cruise is a movie star. Will Smith was a movie star. Chris Pratt is a movie star. Chris Evans is not a movie star. No one's going to see a movie because Chris Evans is in it. By your logic, Donald Trump's a movie star. Been in movies. He's been credited in movies. So there you go. So anyway, back to my point at hand here. This is not with Disney. It's about DEI initiatives, but the reality of it is I think this movie would be in the same boat if Bucky was your Captain America.
Probably,
if he was, no one would be caring about this. No one. Chris Evans was Captain America.
It depends because that was very quick on like the downslide, right? If Bucky is Captain America, one of the first Marvel series we got, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, probably wouldn't just have been about racism in Captain Americaville, right? Which is basically what that show turned out to be.
Yeah.
So I think we get a very different show there. And maybe that we don't have the massive downslide from that point on, but it's all based on the initial decision anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But Bucky is going to be in a movie though a little bit later on. Thunderbolts. You seemed very interested in that when you saw the trailer for Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Thanks to Disney for blocking our trailer reaction on that, which is weird that got blocked. No, I thought that looked terrible. There's nothing. Is there anything that Marvel has upcoming that looks good? Anything? Like I don't even. There's nothing that jumps out at me.
The only thing upcoming that I think anyone has any sort of like, hey, what could this be? Is Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil Born Again, basically. But that one, people are still very hesitant and shaky. They completely tore up everything on that, brought a lot of people that actually knew what they were doing in to potentially make it better. Who knows? That's one out there that could be okay. Fantastic Four might be the next thing that I think people are actually going to be interested in. Like that there's going to be some sort of investment in that because I think they know that it is going to affect the future of the MCU. But between now and then, Brave New World, Thunderbolts,
they're in serious trouble right now. To have anything that's
why they're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom.
Yes, exactly.
That's why that's happening.
That is
they are in trouble because all of this has failed. The DEI experiment that they were pushing for in 2018 even that has failed, is completely failed, and now they got to get back to actually making entertaining shit.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people internally do know that.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I don't feel like reports like this happen out of nowhere. I feel like they're starting to. I think they're trying to get ahead of it and just go, oh, we're hearing a lot of bad stuff. Like I feel like they're trying to preheat the oven for people at this point because they know it's bad. I don't think these things just happen. These things happen for a reason. These reports, these leaks, this information happens for a reason. I think that there's some type of like, let's lower the expectations and maybe that will help us. I don't know. I just don't. I don't believe anything from the mainstream media or any outlets or sources or screenings. I don't believe anything. I believe it's all strategic, whether it's people coming out of going, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen, or, oh, this one's got like I think it's
or whether it's scoopers who maybe get one scoop in 10 and make up all the others. Maybe they know that something like that will get a lot of people invested and a lot of clicks, you know?
yeah,
Like,
that's
just the reality.
They just have so much riding on this movie. With you said the budget could be up to $350 million.
Yeah.
And that means that the movie would ideally would need to make around $700 to $750 million to break even. That is not fucking happening.
Yeah, probably closer to 900 million.
Really? Explain how, because I've always been told like you basically you essentially just double the production budget is essentially the best kind of guesstimate way to look at that.
If the only money that was spent, sure, but the problem is the production. Say you spend $250 million making something. If you get $500 million from the box office, or like at the box office, theaters get about half of that. You would get that money back. But the problem is that's not all the money you're spending on the film. It's also marketing. So they're going to spend at least, at a minimum, $100 million marketing something like that. Probably more, but you can at least bet on at least minimum of 100 million. So that would take the total spending to about 450 million, which if you factor in the box office cuts, you're talking around $900 million to break even on a movie with that type of budget, with that type of spending. Because it's not just about the production budget, it's also all the fucking extra costs.
So this movie's going to need to make between $800 and $900 million. Holy shit.
Probably, yeah.
DEI ain't going to save the bottom line on this one, man. It's not going to happen. They are fucked with this movie. So again, I think it's fair to assume that this is Marvel's territory potentially for them. I know nobody who's interested in this movie. I know nobody. I see no enthusiasm. I see no excitement. None. But we shall see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody needs to see Sam as Captain America. There's just not any investment. There's nobody that wants to come out and see that. I think a lot of people loved his role as Falcon and his dynamic with him and Captain America.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as that character, well, we destroyed that character, tried to make us like this new one, and neither of it's worked so far.
Exactly.